What up? This is Rama Screen, and in the anticipation of I'll Be Gone in the Dark special episodes, which debuts Monday, June 21 at 10 p.m. on HBO, and it will also be available to stream on HBO Max. I'm here talking with the director of this documentary, Elizabeth Wolff. How are you, Elizabeth?
I'm well, thank you. How are you, Rama?
Good. Thank you for taking the time. So, if you would kindly please explain to my viewers, help us understand because the original 6 episodes aired last year. So, what is the reason behind this bonus episode, and what does this one feature that the original 6 did not?
Absolutely. Well, I don't want to give away what the original six featured, just in case some people haven't seen the original six, because I think that you can watch this special episode even if you haven't seen the original six, and you can go back and start from the beginning. But the special episode came about because the 6 episodes aired last summer when the Golden State Killer, Joseph James D'Angelo, was being sentenced. And so that was not included in our series. At the end of the series, you see that he's been caught, but his sentencing is not something that we were able to film. And so we all watched that in the production from our various computers during the pandemic and felt it was so important as a coda for our survivors so that we could show that they really got to have the last word confronting the Golden State Killer, their attacker, in court. Another thing that inspired this extra episode is that Michelle McNamara had another case that she was very invested in addition to the Golden State Killer case. And that was the case of the murder of Kathy Lombardo. Kathy Lombardo was a young woman who was raped and murdered in Michelle's hometown of Oak Park, Illinois, when Michelle was a teenager. And it was something that Michelle could not forget. And in about 2013, she started to reinvestigate that case as well. And it is included in her book, I'll Be Gone in the Dark. And it was a case that she very much wanted to pick up and try and solve after she finished her book. And she never got a chance to. So we had tried throughout the series to weave in this story of Kathy Lombardo. But it was such a complex case that we didn't really have the time to go into it in the depth that we wanted to. We mentioned it in episode 2 as a part of her origin of what kind of got her interested in cold cases, but we didn't really get to explore it in the way that we all wanted to. So when HBO approached us about doing a special 7th episode, we knew exactly the 2 stories that we wanted to braid together. We wanted to end the survivor's story with them confronting their attacker in court, which we had all seen in real time last summer. And we wanted to braid that with a deeper exploration of Kathy Lombardo's murder and Michelle's investigation into it.
So, wait, let me get this straight. The survivors, the victim impact statement at the hearing, you were not there in person to film it, right? That was just like a real time footage from because of pandemic. Is that what it is?
Well, what happens in a lot of when there's a lot of press attention is they assign a certain number of cameras that can
Mm.
film in the courtroom at any one time. So, and those are called pool cameras. So you're able to, and any media outlet is able to get those camera footage. And so we did not film that ourselves because we were in lockdown and at the height of the pandemic. But there was a lot of coverage, a lot of local cameramen, camera people, and local media filmed around that at that time.
Yeah, because
So
that
that's archival, that's news archival footage, and also footage that was recorded by the courts.
yeah, because I've never attended court trials or any public hearing like that before in my life. But that took me back to when I watched the victim impact statements for or the sentencing hearing for Larry Nassar. You know, when the gymnast took the
Yes.
stand and your heart just fell to the floor listening to them. So I'm just wondering what went through your mind listening to those families during that session.
I was I was really so so satisfied for them that they got to confront their attacker. I had the chance to interview a number of the survivors, and they told me their story. They told me the impact that these crimes had on them. And so I had heard a lot of this before, but to see them be able to say this to the man that upended their lives, to me, it's really hard to put words to it. It was, I just knew how meaningful and how important that was going to be for their own recovery. And 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 so I watched in awe that they had the strength to do this, and also with a great deal of I just want with empathy that they of how long it took them to be able to have this opportunity, how much time they had been sitting with this personally. And finally, for the first time, they were able to basically unload this on their attacker and say, this is your problem now. This is your shame to deal with this. This is, you need to understand what you did to me. This is something that should hang on you. I am lifting the burden of this and putting it on you. And I hope and I know for some of the survivors that was incredibly cathartic. It was a very healing experience, and that
Uh,
was important to watch.
Thank you for sharing that. I'm just wondering. This is my first time talking with you. I'm curious, what is it? Because there are plenty of true crime novelists out there, true crime novel authors out there. What separated Michelle from the rest in this genre, in your opinion?
Oh wow. Well, I'm not a true crime novel aficionado, but what I would say, from my understanding, Michelle's book "I'll Be Gone in the Dark" is a memoir about her, as well as it's a story about the Golden State Killer case.
Hmm.
It is about as much about her investigation and her obsession with it as it is about the facts of the case itself. And and I think that is what made this case, this book and the series very popular. I think a lot of readers and viewers see themselves in Michelle. They identify with the fascination of true crime, the need to and the desire to have an impact, to be heard, to be creative, to have a career, and also how to juggle the desire for a career, the desire to be an artist, with the desire to be a hands-on mom, and I think that this is why her book resonated with so many readers.
So finally, I noticed that Kathy Lombardo's case, according to your docu, is in a gridlock because the Oak Park law enforcement is not being cooperative. So tell me, what do you hope the audiences would take away from this docu? More importantly, how can the general public help in getting to the bottom of some of these unsolved cases?
Michelle McNamara ended her book "I'll Be Gone in the Dark" really with a call to action. She was writing a book about an unsolved serial killer case, and she wanted her book to inspire other citizen sleuths to help solve the case. Now, the Golden State Killer case is solved, but Kathy Lombardo's case and many of the other cold cases in the Chicago area are unsolved. And our hope is to end this series very much in the way that Michelle ends her book, which is that this is a call to action. Michelle says, inside everyone lurks a Sherlock Holmes. Um, and we are hoping that by bringing attention to the Kathy Lombardo case, we can inspire other leads in the investigation, renewed attention on the part of law enforcement, as well as citizen sleuths or people that maybe have a detail about the case that they haven't shared before to come forward. We're just hopeful that renewed attention will put pressure on all of these points, and that the case will be solved.
All right. For my fans at home, everybody go check out I'll Be Gone in the Dark special episode, which debuts Monday, June 21 at 10 p.m. on HBO, and it'll also be streaming on HBO Max. Elizabeth, thank you for talking to me, and congratulations.
Thank you, Rama. Thanks for having me on.